Let's take a look at how to properly fill out the transition form. Does this look familiar to everybody? It should, because we have been using this form for quite some time, and it is really good at collecting some relevant information to help with the discussion of transition and the needs for our students. We're going to continue to use this form and then upload it into eSped. Let's see how to properly fill this out. It is a fillable form, so you can save one of these to your teacher drive, or you can access the one that's in eSped, and you can start completing it as you're meeting with the student to talk about their transition needs. So for example, we're going to meet with Susie Smith today. So I'm going to type her name in, fill out the ID, case manager. All you do is click into the fillable form and enter the information. Let's take a look at where the meeting truly begins with talking about strengths for the student, preferences and interests. This is something that can be kind of difficult for a student to answer when they don't know what they want to do or they don't know that they have any interests. But we really want to try to lock down at least something that they might be good at or something that they're interested in. You can look at grades. You can look at whether or not they're part of any clubs or organizations. Just try to find something to establish that connection with the student and really go forward with the conversation from there. So let's take a look at an example of some strengths and interests. The strengths for this student, she commented that she was responsible, kind, and involved. And you'll see that in a little bit when we see the rest of the form. Her preferences and interests are law, cheer, sports, cooking, and art. Based on those interests, I can already think of some very good electives that she can take in filling out her 4-year plan. So let's look at what the student is doing now to help fulfill some of those interests and goals. What we're going to do is break this down so that we understand how to complete this effectively. First, we're going to look at what the interest is for the student, what type of job she wants to have, how she's doing that, how she's going to focus on that for after graduation, what she's doing now to reach the goal, and then the needs for the coming year in that area. That student mentioned law. So in the form, we put in that the student would like to pursue a career in law. Great. Now, what is she doing now to help fulfill that goal? Currently, she's already in an elective to help support that need, and it's Principles of Law and Safety. Next school year, she's going to take Law 1. Next, we're going to look at what kind of training does she need for that job. Goals for after graduation, what she's doing now, and then needs for the coming year. So, type of training that she'll need after graduation to help support law. There are many things that you can be besides being an attorney. So if a 2-year or 4-year university and then law school isn't in the works for that student, you can also look at other things within law enforcement, paralegal, on-the-job training that you can do to help support a law firm or work at a law firm. You can have them volunteer at a law firm to see if it's something that they really want to pursue. But for this student, she wants to attend a 2-year college and then transfer to a 4-year university. So that's what she plans on doing after graduation. How is she helping to support that currently? Currently, she's taking classes to graduate on the Foundation with Endorsements plan. She completes her assignments, attends tutorials in order to keep grades above passing. What does she need to work on for this next year to help support that goal? Let's take a look at that. Research a variety of schools with undergrad degrees in law. look at the requirements for 2- and 4-year colleges, continue to get and keep grades up by completing assignments and attending tutorials. Those are all excellent examples of how that student is going to work to help support that goal this next school year. Next, let's look at what the student wants to do for her living arrangements after she graduates. Let's look at the short term. She said she wants to live with the parents. That's great, as long as the parents are still willing to have her live in the house. If not, you might need to look at other arrangements. I always make sure to double check with mom and dad that that's okay, that they're still planning on living there. Long term, though, the student would like to live in a college dorm, then on her own in the house. So let's look at some things that can help her get that goal, reach that goal. What is she doing now? She helps with chores around the house, and she can cook simple meals, pasta in particular. So then let's look at the needs for the coming year. We have here to research driver ed programs and to do own laundry. Those are excellent ways to help support the goal for her living after graduation. We can also look at things like opening a bank account, learning how to budget, paying bills. Those are all great examples to help support that. So let's look at after graduation, what the student will do for fun. After graduation, she does plan on continuing to run, play sports, and hanging out with friends. Is she doing anything now to help support that? Let's look over here and see. Currently, she's on a CRHS cheer team. She goes to the movies, and she goes shopping with friends. It sounds like she's well on her way to continuing to do that after she graduates. Her needs for the next coming year: continue to participate with cheerleading and run track for CRHS in the spring. Great goals to have. Let's continue on now. And when we're coming up with the action plan for the student, we are going to copy and paste what we've already typed into the form. So breaking it down here, you're going to copy each section line by line. So the first one is here, highlighted in yellow. You're going to copy that first. And then you're going to paste that here on the what for this next action item. Go back, highlight the next section, paste that here, and so forth and so on. Then you're going to come up with who is responsible for doing that. I've crossed out the student's name because this was an example of a transition form that was actually filled out very nicely. But you want to talk about the student being responsible, parents, counselor, case manager, any others that may help the student to really hone in on some of those goals and the action plan. And then you want to make sure that you do a timeline or a due date to make sure they're hitting those goals within the next school year or the next IEP year. So you want to look at the full IEP year, so from the date of the ARD to the next year's date. You want to look at the end of the school year, the end of the semester. Those sorts of dates are very appropriate. So then let's not forget our favorite statements at the bottom of the transition form, which is our will statements. And of course, since my name is Will, I am particularly love these statements, of course. So the student will pursue a career in law because after graduation, that is their employment goal. So that will go first, employment goal first. Second is the post-secondary educational goal. After graduation, the student will attend a 2-year college and transfer to a 4-year university. You can also say things there like student will attend ACC, student will enroll at the University of Texas. Those are appropriate. You can also say things like the student will get on-the-job training or attend classes at TSTC, that sort of thing, to get more job experience. So that concludes how to complete the transition form completely and appropriately. Thanks for your time today. If you have any questions, please see Will Renfro, Transition Specialist, Round Rock ISD, or your ARD facilitator on campus. Thanks so much.